Welcome to Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening Sunday morning service. We're glad you're here. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Lay all your fears and all your doubts aside. Let go of all the hurt you hold inside. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Can you feel the love of all who've gathered round? You are worthy of this gift of love right now. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Well, who'd have known that who you are is enough? And who'd have known that you could be so loved? Well, we knew, now you know. Yes, we know, now you know. So open up your heart. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here. So open up your heart. I invite you to open your heart this morning. Open your heart and your mind and prepare to receive a blessing, to be a blessing. Let's amplify this energy of gratitude that I'm feeling, I'm sure that you're feeling for this beautiful day. And maybe tag someone that you are grateful for. Put a comment, drop a comment, tell someone you're grateful for them this morning as we just, step into the gratitude with a little help with Karen Drucker. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Sing that with me. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing day. This healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, wonderful friends. My wonderful, wonderful friends. Love you, friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. My radiant health. My radiant health. So you just claim anything you want to give a little boost to, right? She also has a line in there that says, my opulent wealth. Go ahead and claim that. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. My opulent wealth. I love that word. My opulent wealth. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing day. This healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Meister Eckhart said, if thank you is the only prayer that you've ever prayed, it's enough. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You see, our thoughts, our energy, it's all a living prayer. So I just invite you now to join us in our time of prayerful musical meditation where we remind ourselves of the truth of who and whose we are. So be comfortable in your chair and breathe deeply into your heart space. Maybe even put your hand on your heart. Slow your breathing. Remind yourself you're safe right here and right now, regardless of what goes on around you. And let's breathe into that together. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers, be aware of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be aware of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Knowing that every thought becomes a prayer, I choose my thoughts in this moment consciously, as easily as I slow my breath to remind myself that I'm safe, as easily as I breathe deeply into this now moment. I choose my thoughts. I choose the direction of my life by choosing where my attention and my energy flows. So as I speak this word this morning, recognizing that everything is an expression of the one. Everything in manifest form is an expression of the one mind, the one heart, the one God, the one good, the one life of the divine expressing as the many. And that means it's expressing right here, right now, as me, as each and every one of us, as every soul in every situation. Knowing that I am one with this power and presence, this creator of all things. I speak my word from a point of power, empowered with this truth that I am one with my creator, empowered with this truth that I am inseparable from this source of creation, that I am indeed co-creating my experience with every thought, with every prayer. With each breath, I remain vigilant, conscious of my partnership with the divine. Thank you, God, for moving through me, expressing as me. And as I speak this word, I claim this morning for each and every person part of this service for Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening, and for all of us. I claim for each of us this increased awareness of this power and presence within. I claim for each of us a divine order and an awareness of this divine order moving through all of life. Surrendering the details, allowing life to move through and express and continue as the beauty and the clarity, the prosperity, the health, the goodness, the joy, the harmony that is God. Thank you, beloved God. Thank you for this community. Thank you for this day. And thank you for this opportunity to remember the truth of our spiritual soul, the truth of our being. We are just having this human experience. Let us have it mindfully, fully present and aware of the God consciousness that moves through us. Thank you, God, for my life. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Hello, CCSA community. My name is Joanne Haviland, and I am part of the CCSA prayer team. Our spiritual reading today comes from a book by Adyashanti called Falling into Grace. And I'm going to read the last page of that book, a very short section entitled Fall into the Center of Now. Grace is all around us if we only have the eyes to see it. The good moments are grace. The difficult moments are grace. The confusing moments are grace. When we can begin to open enough to realize that there is grace in every situation, in each person we meet, no matter how easy or difficult we perceive them to be, our hearts will flower and we'll be able to express the peace and the love that each of us has within us. We let go into this grace. It's something we fall into, like when we fall into the arms of another, or we put our head on the pillow to go to sleep. It's a willingness to relax even in the midst of tension. It's a willingness to stop for just a moment, to breathe, to notice that there's something else going on other than the story our mind is telling us. In this moment of grace, we see that whatever might be there in our experience, from the most difficult emotional challenges to the most causeless joy, occurs within a vast space of peace, of stillness, of ultimate well-being. If we can let go for just a moment, if we can relax, if we can fall into the center of now, we can encounter directly the freedom that we've all been seeking. It is right here, right now. It doesn't lie in the future. It's not going to come when life changes, when the circumstances of our day-to-day reality become different. Freedom is something that's right in the midst of this moment. When we begin to surrender our demand that life change, that life alter itself to suit our ideas, then everything opens. We begin to awaken from the dream of separateness and struggle, and we realize that the grace we were always seeking is actually right there at the center of our own existence. In those very moments when we know we don't know, when we take the backward step, heart wide open, we fall into grace.
Good morning, everyone. I am going to repeat again what I posted on our Facebook CCSA group the other day about our holiday project. Just want to make sure everyone sees it and everyone gets to be involved. We are collecting holiday greetings from each and every one of our community members. We would love everyone to send just a 30-second little clip video saying happy holidays, from our house to your house, anything that you want. And we're going to put a whole video together of everyone and play it during our service on December 20th. So dress your dogs up in costume. You can dress yourself in costume, wear your holiday PJs, or not, whatever you would like to do. You can sing us a Christmas carol. That would be awesome. So we will post I'll have Christy put my email and my phone number on a text so that you all can contact me, send them to me. It's most important that we use this format that they have to use for all the service stuff where it's filmed horizontally. But I will give you all of the details when you text me. And I really look forward to seeing you and look forward to seeing all of your smiling faces for our holiday video presentation. And also, if that is too complicated, please just send us a photo. We would love to see your face however you send it. And one last thing, we are still and always looking for new readers to participate in our Sunday service. Please sign up. I would love to. I'm going to be the contact person for that now. So the more people we can get involved, the better. Again, I say it's great for our community to stay connected during this time, but it's also great for your soul. Feels really, really good just to participate and be a part of the service. So I look forward to hearing from all of you and can't wait. Thanks.
So let's talk about living a wonder-filled life. Wonderful. I love that word, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, think about the word wonderful. Full of wonder, a desire, a curiosity. Yes, that can be used to define the word wonder, but wonder as in surprise, admiration. I like to say I'm expecting my unexpected, right? It's an unexpected surprise, often defined as an unexpected, beautiful surprise. But Dr. Ernest Thomas talks about living in an expectancy of good. So to live this wonder-filled life, this wonderful life, is to be in this space of expecting a beautiful surprise. So I'm inviting you today to expect a beautiful surprise in your life today and tomorrow and the next day. So I was thinking about this word wonderful because of an article I read recently that was written a long time ago by Emmett Fox. And he talked about the wonder child within us and tapping into being that wonder child in our lives. And to be that wonder child, we are creating miracles everywhere we step. We are creating this beautiful experience of life. But he talked about two things in this article that were very important to living this wonder-filled, wonderful life. That's receptivity and teachability. So let's explore those. Receptivity and teachability. In order to be receptive, and I think about that a lot right now because we're doing this prosperity series, and one of the first prosperity books I read was by Catherine Ponder. She has a book called Open Your Mind to Receive. And I thought, way back when I first got turned on to this teaching and I found myself reading this book, open my mind to receive, like it's not just a given. No, it's not, because we have presets, programming. There we go. We have pre-programmed ourselves to shut off the receptivity that's available to us. So anyway, being receptive, figuring out what we deserve, and knowing that's way more than we've allowed ourselves to have in most cases for most people. So, in order to be receptive, we need to release our old ideas of self, old ideas of God, old ideas, the ideas that you're less than, that you're not worthy, you're not deserving, or ideas that there's a vengeful, mean, punishing God looking at you and looking for ways to take you out, right? But rather believing in a beautiful, loving presence that is the divine, that doesn't care what you call it, is beyond a pronoun, is beyond any limitation, is everywhere present, therefore moving through you, moving through me, releasing anything that's contrary to this truth about the divine nature of life. So that is a step one in being more receptive to our good in this lifetime. And then there's understanding where this good comes from. There's a term that Ernest Holmes uses a lot, the givingness, the self-givingness of spirit, right? So everything was created out of the Creator itself. There's a self-giving nature to the universe. It's always giving. There's a prolific, self-giving nature of the universe. This is where it's coming from. This is why it's not about us actually creating something, but rather accepting a divine flow, which I'm gonna keep talking about this divine flow. Can you accept the divine flow? Is your mind open to receive? Is your heart open to receive? Here's a quick little check for you. Can you take a compliment? Or do you go, it was nothing? Can you accept dinner? Can you accept someone buying you a cup of coffee? Someone doing you a favor? Can you accept that? I encourage you to realize that this is a huge and vital step in having a receptive heart and having a receptive life, being open and receptive to the living spirit of truth flowing through life that wants to bless you. That is a blessing awaiting your reception of it. So it starts with self-love. We have to let go of the ideas that we are less than, the ideas that we aren't worthy of our good, the ideas that no one's going to love us, or that that's too good to be true, or I can't possibly have a job that I enjoy and get paid for. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Whatever you can conceive, you can achieve. You can have it. I love that. I've loved that saying my whole life. Whatever you can conceive, you can achieve. It's true. You can have it. But we have to be able to receive it. And to receive, we have to start with self-care. Do you have a self-care practice? That's my question for you this morning. Do you have a self-care practice? I have a self-care practice, and I continue to allow it to evolve. Most recently, it is baths in the evening with tea. I'm just in love with bath time with tea right now. I don't know. I'm just like digging it. Really, really loving it. It's my time to just kind of recount my day, be in gratitude, look at the things I did well in the day, the things I could do better, release anyone I've put outside my heart, bring them back in. It's my time to just let it all go and to relax and to fill up my cup. So self-care. What is your self-care practice? I encourage you to really spend some time thinking about it. Like, do you have one? Is there something that you do just for you? One of the first things I ask couples when they come in to see me for a couples session, I say, okay, well, individually, how are you doing? Are you happy? Are you bringing a happy person into this relationship? Or are you coming in drained, dragging, and expecting the other person to fill you up? Each person in a relationship, we all have to have the things that fill us up and not expect it to be the other person. That will always not end well. So we have to bring our wholeness to life, our wholeness to relationships, and it starts with that practice of self-care. And so next, in being receptive, it's looking within and saying, okay, where do I need to shine a little more light of a spiritual truth? Where do I need to do a little work? And maybe I need a little help. Maybe my prayer needs to be, help me with my unbelief. Remember that from the Bible? It's the book of Mark, chapter 9:24. So here's the story, right? Guy comes to Jesus. He's got his son with him who, by reading the story, he probably was epileptic or had some type of seizure. But back then, they didn't understand that. They just knew he fell on the ground and started foaming at the mouth and convulsing. And they said, he's got a demon. He's possessed. And so he takes him. So whichever, demon, epilepsy. Point is, kid's having a really hard time. His father brings him to the disciples first and says, cast out the demon, cast out the demon. Nothing happens. They can't help him. And then he comes to Jesus and he's like, please, they weren't able to help, but if there's anything that you can do, please have pity and help us. And I can just imagine Jesus going, did you say, if there's anything I can do? Not that Jesus was cocky, but he was confident. He knew there was something he could do. He could see the wholeness and the perfection of the beauty and this just absolute knowing within him of the perfection of this boy. And so he said, if there's something I can do, kind of looking at him like, did you really just say that? And he says, and the guy says, well, okay. Sorry. So Jesus said, if there's something I can do, of course there's something I can do, is what he's thinking. And then he says, everything is possible to one that believes. Everything is possible to one that believes. And so quickly the father says, I believe. But if you're looking at this written out, it's like, I believe, semicolon. It's not I believe, exclamation point. It's I believe, but really. He says, I believe, but heal me, help me with my unbelief. Ever been there where you're like, I believe I deserve this right and perfect home. But then there's these little parts of you going, yeah, but I could never afford the one I really want. Or I believe that I can have a loving relationship. Yeah, but I got these little quirks and people don't always like my quirks. I snore. There's things. Have you ever had that part of you that wanted to believe so much? I believe. Yeah, but is basically what this guy's saying to Jesus. I believe, but help me with my unbelief. And actually the translation is really, help me overcome my unbelief. So what are the parts? That's the thing about being receptive, being in a state of receptivity to the good that we are swimming in, that we want to allow in our lives to be in the flow with. What are the parts of you that are the unbelief? Those places where you're not quite, you're still holding on to baggage. You're still holding on to old ideas of self, old ideas of the world, old ideas of God, old ideas of too good to be true. What are you holding on to that you are now ready? I hope I'm asking you to consider to be ready to overcome those pieces of you that are in disbelief, that unbelief. Help me with overcome my unbelief. And when I say that we use the word parts and pieces, I say that, but I actually kind of use that loosely because we are a whole. There's no parts of us. We are a whole. But we do have experiences where we are, there's this fluidity, as I've talked about, there's a continuum that we're on, where in some moments we are bold and proud and confident and yeah, man, ready to go. And in other moments we can waver and we can be shaky. So it's about finding those places, looking at them and saying, no, I'm going to release that. And then in our treatment work, we call it affirmative prayer. We call it treatment. So in our affirmative prayers, we would say something like, I surrender into the power and presence within me, and I release this place within me that occasionally feels unworthy or less than, or like this is too good to be true. I release And I open myself up to a greater degree of living, a greater degree of believing. Right? It's about looking at it, calling it out, releasing it, replacing it, or as I like to say, flipping the script. And that takes us into being teachable, being receptive and being teachable. I actually have a story that kind of speaks to both. Here I was with my dear friend, who's like a brother to me, Reverend Dale Worley from Unity of Savannah. And we were on the music team with Reverend Renee Laboa for the International New Thought Alliance conference. And I think it might have been I'm pretty sure it was the year of the 100th anniversary or thereabouts. So anyway, it was a pretty big deal. We were really excited about it. I was a little nervous. I hadn't been there in that capacity before, and I didn't know these people. I didn't know the drill. Dale was a little nervous, I think, because he was bringing us in, and we hadn't worked in that conference before together. And so my little self and his little self had a spat on stage during the rehearsal, and it went something like this. He was like, I need you to play guitar on this song. And I'm thinking, I don't know this song. I haven't practiced this song. This is out of my comfort zone. I'm not going to do this song. And he's like, I need you to play guitar on this song. And he said, I don't remember, he named out some chord, and I taught myself to play guitar. I play lots of chords, but can't tell you what they are most of the time. And he yelled out a chord and got mad at me because I wasn't playing it. And I was like, I'm not going to play the song. And I got mad, and then he got mad. So he felt like I left him out to hang out to dry. I felt like he was exposing me. Ever felt like that? Like I'm going to be found out, that I'm not good enough. I'm going to be found out that I'm not what people think that I am. And so I was feeling so raw and so vulnerable, and I wanted to defend and protect. You can't be teachable or receptive if you're defending and protecting. But we got in this big spat, and we walked off, and we're both mad, and then we walk out into thank goodness no one was in the room really that were really paying attention. It was a practice. But we walk out into the hallway. I go in one bathroom, he goes in the other, and we come back out, and we're still fuming at each other, but we're trying to be spiritual and calm. And, oh, well, I know that you think that blah, blah. No, we were mad. And so we started out trying to be PC, and the next thing you know, we're yelling at each other in the foyer of this convention center area where we're about to do this very important event. And then we're crying. And then we're underneath. And here's what happened. I was feeling, like I said, like I was about to be exposed, that I wasn't good enough to be playing because I couldn't tell you what that particular chord was on my guitar. He was feeling like he wasn't loved enough by me for me to join him and support him on the song that he felt was too thin without an extra instrument. And the point being, until we dropped our defenses, until we became vulnerable, looked into the eyes of love from the eyes of love and said, wait a second, this is my brother. I love him. He loves me. What is going on here? Until we were able to drop the defenses, be vulnerable, be humble, we weren't able to connect, to be teachable. I ended up learning, I can't think of it right now, but I ended up learning a chord that day. Turned out I already knew the chord, I just didn't know what it was called. He ended up learning that he was loved beyond measure. It had nothing to do with me not supporting him. It had to do with me feeling little, me feeling small and incompetent in that moment. We both had a teachable moment, and we grew in our patience, in our willingness to be vulnerable, in our willingness to be seen. You know how empowering it was for me from then on to be able to stand up and go, yeah, I don't know that chord. I don't. Anybody want to show me what that is? You can ask Brenda and Gina. I'm always going, I'm not really good at this harmony thing, so sing it in my ear and I'll try to do it. And Brenda's always like, it goes like this. Or Gina's like, it's this chord, right? And I'm okay with that. I love who I am and how I play and what music means to me, and I'm okay with it now. But there was, for so long, I was not willing to be teachable and so I was staying stuck because I wasn't willing to be teachable because I was afraid that if I let my defenses down, let someone really see me, that I would be hurt, I'd be made fun of, I'd feel less than, because I already felt less than. Do you get that? So plucking out the feelings of less than, the feelings of can't possibly be my full authentic self, letting all of that fall away, trusting that this divine flow moving through is bigger than any insecurity, any preconceived notion that you have about yourself. So staying humble, staying vulnerable, staying open allows us to be receptive and teachable. Being teachable, it allows us to release the self-criticisms, because that's usually what we're running from when we're not teachable. So I have some questions for you that we used in practitioner class last week. I'm not going to share all of them, but just a few of them that I think will speak to being teachable and being receptive. And the first one is, what drains your energy? What drains your energy on any given day? Just really sit and think about that. Ask yourself the question, what drains your energy? Is it work? Is it worry? Is it bills? Is it physical pain? Is it what drains your energy? So really paying attention to where you're losing energy helps you to address it, because it helps you take yourself off autopilot. This is one of the ways that we are able to step into being teachable and then being able to be receptive, is when we take ourselves off autopilot by going, wait a second, if I ask myself that question, I get an answer. And then I can turn and say, okay, but I know the power moving through me and the co-creative nature that I have with the universe. I can shift that. That's why I now have a nighttime ritual of self-care that I love, because I asked myself the question long before, what's draining my energy? And for me, I wasn't giving myself the amount of self-care that I needed. That was draining my energy. So I created an even better self-care routine. Next question, what feeds you? What fills your cup? What gives you energy, right? And are you doing that? Are you taking time to, for me, be in nature, have a bath and tea time, spend time with family and friends? Those things fill my cup. They give me energy. Are you taking the time to do that? All of these things help us learn more about ourselves and where we're missing the mark. That's all a sin is, by the way. It's an archery term for missing the mark. That's all it is. So we see where we're missing the mark and we choose, you know what, I could do that better and I would feel better and be expressing better in my life. I'd be living a wonder-filled life if I was paying attention to where I'm drained in my energy and where I'm being filled up. There's a power moving through us. We have the ability to live this wonder-filled life, knowing that this power moving through us is expressing as us, and we're co-creating with it a life that works for us. But we don't always pay attention to that. And we were talking about that in class last week, and I've been replaying class this week, and they're a lot of fun. I love our practitioner students. We have been in class together since January, and well, some of us for much longer than that, but this particular class since January. Anyway, and so I was overhearing as they were discussing in their partners, and Wendy says, you know, there's this power. She's reading from Beverly Hills Lectures, Dr. Ernest Holmes, and she was like, there's this power in the universe, and it's for us, but if we're not using it, man, it's like our light is under a bushel, and, you know, that's like having a brand new car that you're not driving, and I'm going to drive that car. And I chime in and said, anything you say can and probably will show up in a talk. So Wendy gave me permission to tell y'all to drive your car. Drive your brand new car that's just sitting in the driveway. That's the equivalent of this powerful ability that we have to tap into our wonder child, to tap into our nature of co-creative brilliance, right? But it starts with the little things. Where am I being drained and where am I filled up? Am I living from those places? It starts with the little things. What are the old ideas about myself or about God that I'm still putting in play, that I'm still giving my energy to? Instead, let go of that and say, I'm open and receptive to my good. I remain open. I'm flexible. I'm loving. I'm teachable. I expect my unexpected good. I expect my unexpected good. I accept it. I expect it. I live it. I am it. So one of the other questions they were to think about last week in class was, name 3 people you admire and why. And mine, I decided I would do the exercise along with them. And my 3, the first 3 that came to mind, there's lots of people I admire, but the first 3 that came to mind was my teacher, David Leonard. And the why there is because of there's so many reasons, but his authenticity and his wide open, loving heart. and then Sheikh Kabir, and many reasons there as well. But first thing that came to mind was the way he walks with such peace and grace and calm in his love affair with God. And then the beautiful, beautiful mentor, Edwene Gaines. And with her, it's her unshakable faith. How she would, when she was traveling around, she would, I don't think she's doing as much traveling now, but when she was always on the road and traveling, she was flying first class and staying at the best hotels. And when you would ask, well, what do you charge for that? She'd say, we're going to do a love offering at the end of my workshop. And if y'all feel led to give me anything else, then that's up to the board's discretion. And she would fly all over and was so prosperous, is so prosperous because of her unshakable faith. So the next question was, after you name the three people and what you admire about them, then the question is, where are you already doing those things? Where are you already doing those things? And celebrate that. It was awesome to be able to turn that back around and celebrate the fact that, I do love me, and I am living my authentic life, and I am at a deeper peace than I've ever been, and a deeper state of calm, and I'm having a love affair with the divine, and my faith is unshakable, and I'm grateful for that. Now, I could always allow that to unfold even more, and that's my desire, to say more of that, please, coming through me. But to celebrate where we already are, because we need to look where we are and celebrate it and say, yes, and I'll accept more. I move into a greater degree of that. So when we're able to do that, be receptive and teachable and incorporate all these things of self-care and releasing doubt and embracing worthiness and deservability, when we're able to do all that, then we apply it to the 5 primary areas of life. We apply it to our peace of mind or our connection to the divine. We apply it to our health. We apply it to our relationships, our creative expression, money, and recognizing, of course, that it's not about the amount of money. It's about your relationship to it, your ability to move with ease in the material world. And so look at those areas and say, am I being receptive and am I being teachable? Am I looking at, let's say, health, for example? Am I looking at my physical health and saying, and complaining about a particular area, and yet not doing anything to change it, right? Are you looking at the fact that you feel disconnected from your source, but not taking any time to meditate, to have a prayer practice, to have a prayer partner, to be in class? Are you craving a relationship and yet not doing any of the work to create the relationship in your life? I always tell people, if you want a partner, make a list of what you want in a partner and then look and see, am I being that? If not, set out right away to be that, right? And it's not just about a partner. We're all in relationship to one another. So when we have anyone that we've put outside of our heart, that's another area that we have pushed the divine outside of our heart. Since this omnipresent presence is moving through, this one is moving through the many, we have an opportunity to have these healthy relationships by allowing people back into our hearts. That doesn't necessarily mean you allow someone back in your life. Please hear me. If someone is just nasty and not nice and they're choosing not to be a skilled human being, as Don Miguel Ruiz would say, there's no reason that you need to have lunch with them or sit down and have them in your life, period. But there's a difference between not having them in your life and not letting them in your heart. You see, because when you push someone outside your heart, you're the one that struggles, that suffers. You're the one that feels disconnected from the divine. So healthy relationships, peace of mind, health, creative self-expression. Doesn't matter if you're an artist or a painter or a singer. We all have something that we like to do as a creative outlet. And so are we doing that? Are we finding ways to do that? Or are we just atrophying in those areas? Being teachable and receptive allows us to be that wonder child, allows us to live in that wonder-filled place in all of the areas, and to live in the flow with financial prosperity as well, to be able to be in that place. So say with me, I am open and receptive to my good. I remain open, flexible, loving, and teachable. I remain open, flexible, loving, and teachable. open, flexible, loving, and teachable. Bring on the good. Bring on the good, God. Bring it on. Bring on the good. I'm opening my mind and my heart to receive it, a greater good than I've ever imagined. I accept it. I expect it. I live it. I am it. We deserve this. You know, I love the beautiful Etika Luckett song that says, if you're not in awe, you're not paying attention. Be in wonder, be in awe, be in expectancy of a good that is greater than you've even imagined, so that you can live the life you deserve to live, which is a wonderful, wonder-filled life. And when you're having those moments that are dark days, don't be discouraged. Just keep on keeping the faith. Don't just, what was it I heard recently? Don't just have faith, but spread the faith. We deserve the wonder. You are a wonder. Namaste. Goodness. Okay, I was trying to decide what to sing this morning, and talking about a wonder-filled life. Those of you who know my music could probably guess which song I'm going with. But let's remember that, yes, it's Thanksgiving week. There's so much to be grateful for. I'm talking about the wonder of it all and how awesome life is, and it is. And let's remember that some people have a hard time during the holidays. Let's remember that some people are having a really hard time right now with COVID and with so many things going on. So just know that I can't say this enough. Please reach out. prayer@awakeningcarolina.org, info@awakeningcarolina.org if you want to have a deeper conversation. If you just want a prayer request, send it to the prayer line. But just know that we're here for you, and we get it. We get it. You know, I have some pretty happy music, and this has a happy ending. I'll go ahead and give it away. But it starts out recalling a very hard time in my life. And I was reflecting on it. I wrote it years and years ago, but I wrote it a few years after this incident where I thought maybe I was done on this earth, and it was time for me to just take myself out of the equation. So I get it. I get what a dark night of the soul feels like, and know that there are many of us that do, and we are here for you. So you do not have to be alone, and you... even when you're not feeling like it's a wonder-filled life and you're feeling low, we can be there to support you with that, okay? All right, so here we go. It's been 3 years almost since I walked across this bridge. That night I found myself towing along the edge, thinking maybe this would be the way I'd take my life, knowing something must change soon. I thought it would be that night, but as I looked down to the cars below, something changed my mind. Was it fear or bravery, or a power of a different kind? Was it fear or bravery, or a power of a different kind? I'm a little bit older, old and wiser, glad to be alive, feeling like old George Bailey. What a wonderful life. remember how the night air felt as it raced across my face. How the burn of the cold in my cheeks was the only feeling to trace. I stood there, threw up my arms, eyes closed and crying, thinking about the easy way out, about giving up and dying. Now I'm a little bit older, a whole lot wiser, glad to be alive, feeling like old George Bailey. What a wonderful life. I'm standing here on this bridge, heart and soul revised. There's new blood pumping through my veins and eyes open wide. 'Cause I'm happy now, I'm lucky, thankful I'm alive. I'm happy, I'm lucky, yeah. To be alive, feeling like old George Bailey. What a wonderful life. I'm a little bit older, a whole lot wiser, glad to be alive, feeling like old George Bailey. What a wonderful life. All right, so I would like to give a shout out first. Before we talk about the kids, I'd like to talk to the parents. So a shout out to parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, anyone who has little people or medium people or large people, kids that are little kids or preteens or teens. We want to continually remind our kids that they too can use this teaching. They too can continue to be focused on where their thoughts are living, right? So we would like to give a shout out to all of the parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles. If you have kids in your life that would like to be part of a service, we would love that. The kids inspire us so much, and it helps them to be reminded of the truth of their center too. So if you would like to be part of the service, or have your kids part of the service, please send us an email, info@awakeningcarolina.org, and we'll let you know all the details on how to do that. It's not hard at all. You can make a little video, and I'll even help you with letting you know what the services are planned out for, the topics and that sort of thing, so that I can give you some ideas of ways to engage the kids. We want to keep them engaged in this new land of virtual community, right? So kids, we love you. We see you, we appreciate you, we hear you, and we love you just the way that you are. We look forward to seeing you in person again or on a video. So please join me in our conscious giving And just know that we appreciate you. We appreciate all of your tithes and offerings, all the ways that you give to the Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening, and all of the people, like in this service and in every service. I just want to say thank you to everyone that participates in service and behind the scenes, or that you see. We appreciate all of you. Thank you for helping this happen. So I keep wanting to call it our divine giving affirmation. Our conscious giving affirmation, which is indeed divine, goes like this. Divine love moving through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the good in my life. Let's breathe into gratitude together for a moment and thank God for the good in our lives through song. I breathe into gratitude. I breathe into this moment, and I say, thank you, God, for the good in my life. Thank you, God, for the blessings of this life. Thank you, God, for the love in my life. I breathe into gratitude. I breathe in to thank you. Thank you. Now, maybe there's a lot going on in your life that you're easily thankful for. Maybe you are able to quickly remember a person, place, or situation, or a four-legged ball of love that you're grateful for. But right now I'm going to stretch you just a little bit. I'm going to ask you to think about something that is not exactly how you would have it go right now in your life or the world. And I want you to flip that script in your mind. I want you to move into the land of the imagination. And how does it feel in this place of imagination? How does it feel that COVID is a thing of the past? How does it feel that there's social justice and peace in our government? How does it feel? And now some of you are saying, I have no idea, right? That's why we call it imagination. How would it feel? How would it feel to be living and working in jobs that you love, that excite your soul, that express your creative nature? How would it feel to be in a relationship that, I got that one, that feels so respectful and harmonious and joy-filled? So think of all these things. Put yourself in that state of creation, which starts with our imagination, is fueled by our feeling. And right now we're going to fuel it. So, stepping into it as if it were already so. Let's give thanks for that. I breathe into gratitude. I breathe into this moment, and I say, thank you, God, for the good in my life. Thank you, God, for the breath of this life. Thank you, God, for the love in my life. I breathe into gratitude. You know what I was seeing just then? I breathe into gratitude. I was singing that whole verse through, thinking of us being together in the same space, being able to hold hands and hear each other sing. And I say, thank you, God, for the good in my life. Thank you, God, for the breath of this life. Thank you, God, for the love in my life. I breathe into gratitude. I breathe into thank you. Thank you. And so I breathe into this gratitude and I say thank you that even though we are coming together in community in a different way right now. I'm so grateful for the ability, for the technology. So grateful for the willingness of each and every person to participate in community virtually and come together as we are able. I'm so grateful for Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening, for our board and our membership and our volunteers. Thank you, God. So grateful for each and every person given a financial gift that continues to go towards this mission of awakening humanity to its magnificence, to awaken us each to our divine potential over and over again, the next level of awakening and the next. That goes to helping us to lift one another up. So I say thank you for that. I know that you can never outgive God, so each and every person giving that financial gift, I see you blessed and prospered to overflowing, because I know it comes back every time. I breathe into gratitude, so I release these words in gratitude. Thank you, God. Thank you. And so it is. Thank you. Join us in our closing song. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy, we let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace. We hope you'll help us in creating peace Tuesday night. Tuesday night during the virtual Mecklenburg Ministries Charlotte Citywide Interfaith Thanksgiving service. This has been going on for over 45 years, and the pandemic's not going to stop us, so we're coming together this Tuesday. Please join us as we continue to spread this love and this inclusion and this peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. This week, this Thanksgiving week, know that we are grateful for you. We're so thankful. Have a great week. We love you.